if you don't have a budget, you become very, very creative. And because of low budget, you have to find out what the real essence of what you want to say. And you're going to find it and you're going to make it with no budget even.
Welcome to Virtually Live by Kaltura. In this podcast, we'll try to sum up all the latest and greatest in marketing, and specifically in event marketing. To help us do that, we've invited prominent marketing and business leaders to share their most important lessons and give their best predictions for the coming years. On this week's episode of Virtually Live, listen in on Noah Zmora, Kaltura's VP Brand, and Lior Raz of Fauda and Hit and Run fame as they talk branding, marketing, and what marketers can learn from showbiz about creating impactful and meaningful messages to their audiences.
Hi everyone, joining us virtually live from virtually all over the world. I am Noah Zmora, Head of Brand at Kaltura, and I hope you enjoyed our event, learned a thing or two, and even made some new friends. We have one session left. Now, you've probably seen him before in Fauda, Six Underground, and most recently Hit and Run, but we know Lior from way back. About a decade ago, he was involved in the early days of Kaltura, and we stayed in close touch ever since. Please welcome producer, writer, actor, and former marketeer, Lior Raz.
Thank you.
Hi, Lior. We're thrilled to have you with us today. We know how busy you are these days, en route between Hollywood and Tel Aviv, so thank you very much for joining us today.
Thank you for inviting me.
For sure. I'm very excited to talk to you today. You have an extensive body of work. Most people probably know you from Fauda and Hit and Run, but what many don't know is that you also have a background in marketing. Could you walk us through your journey as a content creator and explain how marketing ties into all that?
First of all, when I finished the army, I was in the special forces in Israel, and then I left to LA. I worked there as a bodyguard. I came to Israel, back to Israel. I started to work back in the day, it was very like a communication company, technology. It was Tadiran Communication. I was the head of Jerusalem branch, very successful one actually. I was very good in marketing. And then I realized that I want to be an actor. So I studied for 3 years in acting school. But to be an actor, it's very hard. Most of the time, you're not succeeding. You know, it's most of the time you're getting no and no and no and no. So I wanted to be successful, man. I have a huge ego, so I couldn't stand it. By chance, I was visiting the biggest phone company in Israel called Cellcom, just visiting a friend. I met the head of marketing over there. We said hi, we switched phones, and then I went back home. I was on my roof, drinking beer, like an unemployed actor, getting a call, and this guy saying, "So Lior, you are producing commercials, right?" He mixed me with another person. And I said, took me 5 seconds. Of course I'm producing commercials. And then I opened my first company, production company of commercials. And I was very good in creative. And there is the company called BBDO asked me to come and to be a creative director over there. I came and I've been creative director over there. And then I was the head of digital in BBDO. And
Actually, I know that you are one of the digital marketing pioneers in Israel and BBDO specifically.
Yeah, we started, it was kind of a guerrilla marketing. Nobody knew how to attack this field. And from the second I started to work in BBDO, I tried to convince everyone to move to video. I thought that the best marketing is through video and through emotions. And not through banners, not through anything else, not through text, no lines, no good copywriting. It's all about content. And we started, I think I was the first one in Israel who did took a huge Philips, the shaving, and I did just for them a huge event and a huge TV show just for them. They paid. Nobody knew it's Philips paid, so it was probably not legal back in the day, but that's what I did. And so I thought that through content you can market and you will touch people emotions, and through that you can sell whatever you want.
Lior, let's admit it. You are a master at keeping people glued to their screen and on the edge of their seats. Could you clue us in on some secrets to making awesome and addictive content?
First of all, there is no secrets because you can never know, you cannot predict if something that you write is going to be a hit or not. It's all about the emotional journey of the characters, the taking us, the viewers, and we are very invested in their emotions, and we want to, and this is one thing. The other thing is not to judge anyone on screen. You cannot judge your characters. You should love all the characters that you write, even if they are the bad guys, if even they are doing cruel and crazy things. So I think, and you need to, that's it, you need to love your characters and to understand that people want to have, they don't need a lot of explosions, they don't need anything big, they just need two people with a huge urge to say what they want, and you want to listen to them and you want to be part of their life. It's very simple. You don't have to be to do
super
everything.
Simple
Yeah,
and authentic, probably.
Exactly.
And we'll get to it in a sec. And I think this is super interesting and also ties to my next question. As marketeers across the board, understand exactly how valuable quality content is, whether it's videos or blogs or microcopy. But at the end of the day, content aims to sell, not just entertain or educate. So my question to you, Lior, is how do we make content that's entertaining, educational, gets people to buy, and still stands out?
first of all, you need to understand the essence of the brand, what you really want to sell, and what do you want to say about yourself, because people need to connect to you as a brand, and now brands are much bigger than just being brands. They want to say something to the world.
Storyteller.
So you have to understand what story you want to tell, and when you understand that, so you have the essence. So then you need to create a content that will make people want, now in those days they want to laugh, they want to have fun, nobody want to suffer. We want to be fully commit to the characters that we have, even if it's in commercial, even if it's in blog, even if it's a podcast, doesn't matter. And you want to give them even 2 seconds of joy, 5 seconds of joy. You need to show them that you think and you know that they are very smart, because sometimes we all want to go to the lowest common ground for to give people, simple things. But no, people are very clever, and our kids are much cleverer than us.
For sure.
And our kids want sophisticated content. They don't want to just, they don't want to have simple things, and they don't want us to disrespect them. We need to respect them in order to sell them.
I agree. I totally agree.
And both of us wanna buy something from a brand that you related to his values.
Definitely. And tell me, when you created Fauda, did you have in mind any thoughts about educating the crowds?
No.
Or was it just an after effect that you could have never expected?
When we wrote Fauda, we thought it was just for ourselves. We didn't know that Fauda was going to be very, very successful. We thought that nobody will watch that show, because actually, when we tried to sell it, nobody wanted it. There was just one person who really believed in our show, and when we started to write it, we didn't expect anything. We just wanted to puke the thing that we had in our soul, in our heart, in our mind for years, about our service, about the mental price that we paid for what we did. So we just wanted to write something kind of a healing process for us. For me and my co-creator Avi Zakharov, and we didn't thought that we're gonna change something in people's minds and hearts. But in the end of the day, we know that Fauda did make a change, and I'll give you an example that like a month ago, I think there was a huge article in the one of the Egyptians newspapers that said that we, because of Fauda and Hit and Run, we changed the point of view of the Arab young people in the Arab world. of how Israelis looks now, and how to, because this is the first time that they see that we are human beings in a way. They're doing bad stuff and good stuff, that we are, like all the people in the world. And so it's really, really changed the way that they see us. And I know it because I'm traveling all over, even in the Arab world, and I see the change that it made in the perspective of people, how they see Israel, and also Israelis, how they see Palestinians. So we didn't try to do it, but it happens.
Amazing. And as you probably know, the world of marketing is full of mantras, right? About what works and what doesn't. And this is especially true for content. Keep it short and simple, they tell you, or writing is rewriting, and many more. When the competition is so fierce, I think we all try to do things differently and push the envelope. But can we really know in advance how well our content will be received? And are there any general rules you follow to create popular content?
No, you can't. You don't know. Because if we will know about how to do it, so everybody, if there is any recipe for that, so we all probably would be very successful content makers. There is a saying you said about mantra. You know what's my mantra?
What?
Relax, nothing is under control. You just do your best, challenge yourself. Don't think about the audience. Don't think about what people will love or not. Just do the thing that you think that's going to be good. And if you do good, it will be probably good.
Right. And let's talk about another challenge, budget. Most businesses don't have the resources or the deep pockets that Netflix, but even smaller media companies have. As someone who's been on both high-end and low-budget productions, is there a way to create awesome content without significant resources?
With nothing.
Really?
With $5, I can make you great content. Really. You just need to have a good idea. You see in YouTube people doing amazing things, so many people watching it, just someone with a guitar in Nicaragua sitting on the beach and doing something. Or a woman dancing in a way that people never thought that she will dance. Or someone who put lipstick on his belly button and do something like, I don't know what. You can find a good content. Fauda, we made it in so low budget. It was low budget. It doesn't matter. If it's a good content, it's a good content. If you invest in series, you have to invest in relationships. You have to invest in people. You have to invest in their journey, not about anything else. So, and sometimes because you have a low budget, if you don't have a budget, you become very, very creative. And because of low budget, you have to find out what the real essence of what you want to say. And you're going to find it and you're going to make it with no budget even. So budget is nothing.
I hope that my boss doesn't listen right now.
And I hope that my partner in my production company doesn't listen as well.
Amazing.
Because we also, we just need more budget.
Exactly. In recent years, there's a general understanding that whether you are a B2C marketer, selling directly to consumers, or a B2B marketer, targeting organizations, marketing is essentially selling products and services to people. So what I'm curious about, Lior, is how do you make your content super personal and create this emotional connection with your audience?
There are two different things. In TV shows or movies that I'm writing, I'm just bringing my personal experience, and I'm writing about things that I think that I would love to watch, and I think they're gonna move me, okay? In commercials or in content that I know it's for marketing, I'm trying to think about the audience, Who's the audience? What I want to tell him? How do I want to tell him that? And I want to be very intimate with him and with his needs. But I have to understand his needs very, very well in order to do that, even if it's a huge global company or it's just one person that sits in Texas and just by herself.
Of course. And It's very easy for marketeers to do things based on their personal experiences, their beliefs and ideas. Yet we must always remember that we are not the customers or users, so at least we do not represent everything or one of them. Perhaps it's not as frowned upon in entertainment, but still, how do you suggest marketeers find this balance between what they like personally and what their audience prefers?
First of all, you have to think about yourself. It's just like an actor. You just need to put yourself in the situation of your customer. And when you are there, if you want to make them laugh, you need to laugh at yourself, because otherwise you're just trying to do things. You're not really, this is, a good marketeer supposed to feel how his customer's feelings. He have to, otherwise he's just shooting in the dark.
Exactly.
And we want to be very, very specific in what we're saying and what we're doing. And you have to do some researches, and also focus groups, and just try. First of all, before you go to the campaign, before you start writing, go and start to look what's your audience, what are they watching, what do they like, what is their language, how they speak, how they entertain themselves, and what they drink, what they eat, everything. Just be there like an actor. And then when you're there, you can start thinking the way that they are thinking. Because if we are thinking that, they probably, they think like that, and they do like that, and they eat like that, and we just imagine it, we will not succeed for sure.
That's actually an amazing tip. Like an actor prepares for a role, right?
Yeah, definitely. You have to embrace the way of thinking of your audience. Otherwise, you cannot sell them anything.
Great. And
because you know what, when I was interviewing people to work with me or under me in BBDO or in my production company, if someone was an actor, for sure he have an advantage of anyone else, because he know how to look at the customer, to feel like him, to get connected to him, to understand the way of his feelings, of his emotions, and just because of that, his pains, his needs, everything, and then because he's very, he become part of him, part of the customer, and then you can create for him.
That's super interesting. I'll try it myself.
I'm doing some courses.
Another issue is authenticity. When we present everything as the best and promise them the world, customers see right through the BS. Yet we don't want to be dull. So how can we still create content that excites without compromising on authenticity?
You just answered it. You don't compromise on authenticity. That's it.
That's it.
Because otherwise you become mediocre. Okay? So you don't want it to be, you want to be very successful in what you're saying and what you're doing. Don't compromise on anything in life.
Lior, unfortunately, we are nearing the end of our time, but I must ask you one more question. As you can imagine or even recall from your previous career, many of our viewers are hard at work right now, thinking, strategizing, and trying to figure out their plans for 2022. Could you perhaps share with us what's in store for you in the upcoming year?
2022?
Yeah.
Okay. First of all, we are shooting, next 2 weeks, we're starting to shoot Fauda, 4th season. We have another big documentary show that we're doing for a huge broadcaster in the US. Yeah. We have a new TV show for Netflix. We have another new movie for Netflix.
Wow.
Our hands are full, and we are just creating all day. We are developing our production company in the US. That's it, and I'm trying to be with my family. This is the most important thing.
Wow, sounds like you're going to have a very busy year.
Yeah.
Lior Raz, it's been a pleasure. I want to thank you so much.
Thank you, Noah.
Thank you to our host, Noah Zmor, and to our amazing guest, Lior Raz, for joining us today. Stay tuned for more Virtually Live content when we come back with Season 2. Thanks for tuning in.